Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Eastchester Union Free School District June 16th Board of Education meeting. I am delighted with our special guest this evening, Senator Shelley Mayer, whose tireless efforts and dedication to not just our school district, but multiple school districts continues to have a positive impact on us and our community at large. Before we dive into our agenda this evening, Elias, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I think for this school year, I should say, this is your last student report. And just before you dive in, on behalf of myself and the entire Board of Education, thank you not just for being part of our board and going through those reports once a month with us, but also everything that you do for the student body, whether that's sports or programming wise. We greatly appreciate it, and you deserve a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So for the last report, I'd like to start off with Ann Hutch. As the 2025-2026 school year comes to a close, June has been filled with exciting celebrations, special events, and memorable experiences for students at Ann Hutchinson School. From Field Day to the Grit Ninja Challenge, students had numerous opportunities to have fun, challenge themselves, and celebrate a year of hard work and growth. The school community is looking forward to honoring its 5th grade students at the Moving Up ceremony on Wednesday, June 24th at 4 p.m. at the high school. Ann Hutch extends its sincere gratitude to the PTA for its countless hours of dedication and support throughout the year. Through its hard work and fundraising efforts, the PTA helped provide many enriching experiences for both student and staff. The school also likes to thank Dr. Villanueva for the district and the district administrative team, the Eastchester Board of Education, parents and families, and the entire school community for their partnership and support throughout the year. Most importantly, Ann Hutchinson recognizes and celebrates its students. Their enthusiasm, perseverance, kindness, and commitment to learning are what make Ann Hutchinson such a special place. The school wishes everyone a safe, relaxing, and enjoyable summer. For the high school, the end of the school year is a busy time, and the school is thrilled to celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of its students. On Tuesday, June 9th, Eastchester High School held its annual senior class yearbook distribution party. The theme for this year's book is Timeless, and it came out beautifully. Seniors spent time enjoying refreshments, signing each other's yearbooks, and rehearsing memories from the year. Many thanks go to the student editor-in-chief, Antonella Ruggiero, and advisors Ms. Stipo and Ms. Lucione for all their hard work. Tomorrow night, Eastchester High School will host the WISE Showcase, where seniors are given the opportunity to present their internship experiences over the past month. WISE is a fantastic program that gives students authentic learning opportunities to end their high school careers. Thank you to Ms. Myers for all of her work overseeing this valuable program. The 2026 Eastchester High School graduation ceremony will be held on Friday, June 26th at 5 p.m. It is a beautiful community event, and the school is beyond excited to extend its graduates into the world beyond Eastchester. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle. As Greenville approaches the end of another wonderful school year, the school community finds itself reflecting on all that has been accomplished throughout the year. It has been a joy watching students grow, learn, mature, and thrive throughout the year. Every day, students have amazed staff with their curiosity, kindness, and enthusiasm for learning. Greenville is honored to be part of their educational journey and grateful for the trust families place in the school each day. Field Day is one of the highlights of the year, where students enjoyed a myriad of activities, including tug of war, football, gaga, boxball, and many other exciting events. The weather could not have been more perfect, and the smiles and laughter and school spirit were on full display throughout the day. Greenville would like to extend a special thank you to its PE teachers, Coach Christina Caridi and Coach Mark Spinelli, for their tremendous efforts in planning and organizing Field Day 2026. Their hard work, enthusiasm, and attention to detail created a memorable experience for every student. The celebration continued into the evening with Greenville Night, where students, families, and staff came together to celebrate another successful year. It was a wonderful reminder of the strong sense of community that makes Greenville so special. Another highlight of the spring was a spectacular Greenville art show. This year's theme, the Greenville Diner, transformed the APR into a vibrant celebration of creativity and imagination. Student artwork showcased an incredible variety of mediums, including clay, painting, collage, and even serialism. A special thank you goes to Greenville's art teacher, Mrs. Elisa Beer, whose creativity, dedication, and passion for the arts made this incredible showcase possible. Greenville would also like to recognize outgoing PTA presidents Tira Ciriolia and Stephanie Pinto for their 2 years of incredible service to the school. They have given entirety of their time and energy to support Greenville. Their partnership, along with the support of the PTA, has helped make Greenville an extraordinary place. As Waverly wraps up another successful school year, students and staff have been busy celebrating a year filled with growth, learning, and achievement. This month, Waverly hosted several special events that highlighted the creativity, talent, and hard work of its students. The annual Waverly Art Show transformed the school into a vibrant gallery, showcasing impressive artwork created by students throughout the year. The school also celebrated one of its most beloved traditions, the Kindergarten Alphabet Celebration, where kindergarten students proudly demonstrated the literacy skills, confidence, and growth they have developed since the beginning of the school year. As the year comes to a close, students and families are looking forward to a variety of end-of-the-year celebrations, including classroom activities, the first grade Moving Up concert, and opportunities to reflect on the many accomplishments of the year. These events celebrate not only academic achievement, but also the friendships, resilience, and sense of community that makes Waverly such a special place. Waverly's success is made possible through the strong partnership among the school, its families, and the PTA. Throughout the year, the PTA has enriched the student experience by supporting family events, school programs, and countless opportunities that strengthen the school community. Waverly is grateful for its ongoing dedication and support. As another wonderful year comes to an end, Waverly extends a sincere thanks to students, staff, families, PTA, and Board of Education for their continued partnership and support. Together, they have created an engaging environment where Waverly's little eagles have learned, grown, and soared. As Eastchester Middle School nears the end of another successful school year, the school would like to thank the Board of Education, the PTA, families, and the entire Eastchester community for their continued support. Students are excited to celebrate at the end of the year with the school's annual field day events, where 7th grade will have its field day on June 22nd, 8th grade on June 23rd, and 6th grade on June 25th. Eastchester Middle School looks forward to finishing the year strong and celebrating the many accomplishments of its students. The school thanks the community again for its support throughout the school year. Now for my last 2 for 2. 2 events I'd like to talk about is on Wednesday, June 3rd, EGO held their annual elections in the lower gym this year. And there was a lot of great speeches, and it's always nice to see students put themselves out there to try to make a difference at the school, and I'm excited to work with everybody next year. And on Tuesday, June 23rd, the EHS awards ceremony, senior awards ceremony, is where a bunch of hardworking students are going to be recognized for their brilliance over the years, and it's going to be a great night celebrating the many achievements of the class 2026 and handing out over $100,000 in scholarships this year. And for the students I'd like to shout out is where last night the sports club held the varsity awards dinner at Lake Isle and recognized the accomplishments of the high school student athletes. And I'd like to thank the continued support from our sports club and give special recognition to our Athlete of the Year recipients, Nick Martucci and Olivia Malaccio, and Spirit of the Eagle winners, Andy McLaughlin and Declan Waters. And that's my report. Thank you.
Elias, again, thank you so much for the comprehensive reports. And just to highlight a little bit of what Elias said, and I see sitting here in the audience this evening some other executive members and leadership of our local PTAs. Our local PTAs, our sports foundation, headed up by Mario Delara and others, work tirelessly for our students and for our district. So let's have a special round of applause for everyone who's involved. And before I turn it over to Dr. Meyer, Dr. Villanueva this evening is actually at her daughter's graduation, so she will be zooming in, I believe, a little bit later on in our agenda. But Bill, at this point, I would like to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to have a chance to be here in front of the board and the community to share some of the amazing work that's been taking place across the district, especially as we come to the end of the year. And I think for tonight's meeting especially, we get to honor just some of the best of Eastchester. And so for that, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do that. Our first individual probably needs no introduction. You just heard from him. I was trying to find a even younger photo of him, but I think this was just earlier this year. So it's amazing how much you've grown, Elias. But truly, I mean, this year marks the first time that Eastchester has participated in a statewide initiative to include a student representative as part of the Board of Education. And whenever a new role is created, there's always the challenge of stepping into a role, but an even more exceptional challenge is one in which you have to create that role. And not everyone has the ability to do that. You have to have passion, you have to have commitment, you have to be able to engage with all the stakeholders around you. And Elias, you did this with ease, with confidence, with intuition, and we are so, so fortunate. I mean, the 2 for 2s, I love them, except when you kept coming after advisory and then I was holding my breath where it would go. But they were always thoughtful. You brought yourself to the meeting, you embraced the responsibility of the role, and what I loved especially was you weren't just a voice for the high school, but as you demonstrated this evening, you were a voice for the district. And of course, over the year, your reports evolved. I think this is the longest one ever, but it captured the nuance and the activities and the spirit of Eastchester. And what I also loved about the reports is you didn't just speak to the experiences and the accomplishments, but you provided a perspective of the students. And that was pretty special, and that's exactly what I think everyone envisioned when this role was created. And I would say it's one thing to be able to find your own voice, which you have done, but it's another to be able to elevate the voice of others. And you've done that so well this year. So on behalf of the Board of Education, Dr. Villanueva, the administration, faculty, staff, the entire Eastchester community, I just wanted to thank you. You've established a standard for what this position not just can be, but what it should be, and a foundation for all the students who will follow after you. Congratulations, Elias, and thank you for your outstanding service to Eastchester. So we have a little something if you would like to come up over here. It's really not a choice. You gotta head over. So we have something from the board and also Dr. Villanueva, just to thank you. The finest chocolates from Connecticut in the tri-state area. Thank you so much. Next, we get to introduce and honor some of the great accomplishments of our students academically. And it's really my pleasure to introduce Principal Welsh of the high school to speak to 2 students whose academic excellence has exceeded what we could ever have imagined, and truly amongst an extraordinary graduating class. So Mr. Welsh, turn it over to you.
Good job, Elias. When I was preparing, I said to myself, I'm going to keep my remarks brief, but then you see these kids' resumes, and it's very difficult to do. So it is my pleasure first to introduce this year's salutatorian, Maximilian Lin. Throughout his time at Eastchester High School, Max has distinguished himself through exceptional academic achievement, intellectual curiosity, and meaningful contributions to our school community. A National Merit Scholarship winner, He pursued one of the most rigorous academic programs available, completing 10 AP courses while excelling across all disciplines. He also served as captain of our academic challenge team and held leadership roles in both the math and robotics clubs. In his senior autobiography, he wrote, quote, "I think I have a strong desire to understand the world and learn as much about it as I can." That simple statement captures the spirit in which he has approached his entire high school career, whether in the classroom, on the competition stage, in the research lab, or through his musical pursuits. He has constantly sought opportunities to expand his knowledge and challenge himself. A talented musician, he performs as a percussionist in both our band and orchestra and as a pianist with the jazz band. Through our science research program, he developed an artificial intelligence model designed to predict the stability of crystals, demonstrating both technical skill and innovative thinking. He has also shared his time and talents with others through volunteer service at the Eastchester Public Library. This fall, he will attend Carnegie Mellon University, one of the nation's premier institutions for computer science and engineering, where he plans to study computer science or a related field. While his accomplishments are impressive, what stands out most is the curiosity that drives him, the humility with which he approaches success, and his genuine passion for learning. Those qualities have enriched our school community and will undoubtedly serve him well as he continues to explore and better understand the world around him. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming the Eastchester High School Class of 2026 salutatorian, Max Lynn.
Thank you all for being here, and I'm really honored to be salutatorian. Graduating is a really strange mix of emotions, but I think most of all, there's a lot of gratitude as I reflect on my high school years, so I just want to thank some people. So thank you to my parents. My mom is in the audience tonight. Thank you to my parents who have worked so hard since they immigrated from China just to give me like a life here in Eastchester, and they really are the root of everything I do today. Thank you to my teachers who not just academically imparted on me so much, but also they gave me lots of very valuable life advice. Thank you to all the administrators for all you guys do for running the district. And I'm very thankful to have grown up here in Eastchester. There are so many opportunities, especially in high school, that I've had that I don't think I would have had in other places. Like the fact we have a very strong music program that I hope continues to be supported. We've had an academic challenge team that I also hope continues to be supported. I've gone on so many trips, like to Disney World for a band, to France back last year, and just various opportunities throughout the years that I don't know if I would have had it if I lived in a different district. So thank you all.
Next up, we have another really incredible student, and it's an honor to introduce this year's valedictorian, Sarah Mortensen. Throughout her time at Eastchester High School, Sarah has distinguished herself as a scholar, leader, athlete, artist, and community servant. She pursued one of the most rigorous academic programs available, also completing 10 AP courses while maintaining the highest level of achievement. Beyond the classroom, she earned varsity letters in volleyball, track and field, and flag football, demonstrating a commitment to excellence across a wide range of pursuits. One of my fondest memories from this year was watching her present at our Eastchester TEDx event, where she delivered a thoughtful and engaging talk on the value of intergenerational wisdom. It was a fitting topic for someone who possesses a rare ability to reflect deeply, connect ideas, and inspire others through her insights. In her senior autobiography, she wrote, quote, "I love thinking deeply about topics and making connections. I'm content to sit and do nothing but think because I love ideas and exploring my mind," end quote. That statement perfectly captures the intellectual curiosity that has defined her high school experience. Whether serving as a student representative on the district's Artificial Intelligence Task Force, and also on Curriculum Council, participating in Spanish Club and the Robotics Club, contributing to Forum, which is our literary magazine, or founding the Eastchester Regency Romance Club, she consistently sought opportunities to engage with ideas and bring others into meaningful conversations. Her impact extends well beyond our school walls. Through extensive service with organizations including the Regional Youth Council, Encore Center for Performing Arts, Relay for Life, Bank Street Books Young Reviewers, and numerous church-based programs, she has dedicated countless hours to supporting and uplifting others. She is also an accomplished pianist whose love of learning and creativity extends far beyond the classroom. This fall, she will attend Brigham Young University as a recipient of the Presidential Scholarship. This is the university's most prestigious scholarship, awarded annually to just 50 students from an incoming class of more than 5,000. The scholarship recognizes exceptional academic achievement, leadership, character, and service, and covers 150%, do that math, of tuition for eight semesters. While her accomplishments are remarkable, what stands out most is her genuine love of ideas, her intellectual curiosity, and her desire to use her talents in service of others. Those qualities have enriched our school community and will undoubtedly continue to shape her future success. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming the Eastchester High School Class of 2026 valedictorian, Sarah Mortensen.
Hello, everyone. It is truly an honor to be valedictorian of Eastchester High School. Valedictorian in itself is an extremely prestigious title that I didn't expect, but that I am very proud of. However, in my opinion, the greater privilege I have is to be awarded this title at Eastchester. The classes I took here were both difficult and rewarding. The extracurriculars, ambitious and vibrant. The teachers, demanding and encouraging. And the community, which all of you are part of, purposeful and affectionate. I'm so grateful to have grown up in Waverly, Greenvale, EMS, and EHS, and I'm so grateful for the many people that have helped me along the way. I'm grateful for the elementary teachers that sparked my curiosity when I was younger, like Ms. DeLilio and Ms. Poley. I'm grateful for the intentional, supportive adults who helped me grow through middle school, like Ms. LeBeau and Ms. Tanny. I'm grateful for the many, many experienced yet still individually caring high school teachers like Ms. Caton, Ms. Yaya, Mr. Hatzfeld, Mr. D'Amico, Ms. Gavin, Mr. Suriel, Mr. Perticchese, Mr. Johnson. I could go on and on for that one. The coaches who have driven me with their positivity and dedication, like Coach O'Connor and Coach Meany. And finally, I'm grateful for the administrators who have given me the opportunity to push myself, like Ms. Glinmeyer and Dr. Meyer. There are numerous more people who have impacted my life for the better, like Miss Nancy, the Greenville security guard, or Miss Geraldine Fahey, who I met in the lunchroom and brightens my day whenever I see her. If you've instructed me, guided me, encouraged me, or simply made me smile on a hard day, thank you. I'm so grateful I grew up in Eastchester, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Max and Sarah. That was wonderful. Next, we get to celebrate not just academic excellence, but also other ways in which our students shine. And one of those is student athletes and on the field. And our student athletes have this year performed at some of the highest levels in New York State. And I'm very excited to introduce the Director of Athletics, Mr. Ramponi, to speak of one of those students.
Mr. Welsh, you go. So I'm going to, as much as I'd like to say about Phoebe, I'm glad her coaches are here. That shows their dedication and support. They could speak much more in detail as they were the ones who trained her throughout the year. So Coach D'Amico and Coach Mortensen, if you can come on up and say a few words about Phoebe.
Good evening. My name is Matthew D'Amico, and I'm the head girls varsity track and field coach. And first, I'd like to say that I'm honored to follow after Sarah and Max. I taught them both, and they're such wonderful people, and they're going to make this world a better place. So I'm happy to have been here for that. Phoebe Gould is a remarkable young lady, a remarkable athlete. I coached here starting in 2010, but then I took a few years off when my children were of age that they needed me to be home for them. And then 2 years ago, Mr. Johnson brought me back into coaching, and it was just the perfect timing, because that's when Phoebe arrived on the scene. And she has helped to make my coaching life a lot easier. I look like a good coach because of her. Phoebe, since 9th grade, has been county champion in the pentathlon, the high jump, the triple jump, the 55-meter hurdles. She's a 4-time county champion. She is a Nike All-American in the pentathlon this past winter. She just placed 4th in New York State in a very, very competitive division in the pentathlon just a couple days ago, achieving her highest score. She was 2nd in New York last year, but with a lower score, so the competition was better this year. I can go on and on about Phoebe as an athlete, but more importantly, I've gotten to know her over the last 3 years. I got to teach her this year in AP US History, and she's an extraordinary young lady with a great heart, great sense of humor. She's everything you'd want in a student athlete, and it's been just such a great honor and pleasure to coach her and teach her these last few years. Phoebe, coming up. Coach Mortensen is, well, everyone should know Coach Mortensen. He's a professional athlete, but more importantly, he's an extraordinary person, an extraordinary coach who has helped to make Phoebe much better as well. So I wanted to let Coach Mortensen say something.
Thank you, Coach D'Amico, and State Senator Mayor, members of the board, and members of the community. I just wanted to share briefly and try and put in context how exceptional of an athlete Phoebe is. Phoebe is a pentathlete. What that means is she competes in 5 different events in track and field: the hurdles, the high jump, the long jump, the shot put, and the 800 meters, which is a distance event. We're here today to celebrate Phoebe's school record in the pentathlon. She scored 3,175 points at the New York State Championship meet. But it's not just one school record. Phoebe actually holds 5 school records in track and field. She is the school record holder in the high jump. She is the school record holder in the long jump. She is the school record holder in the triple jump. She is the school record holder in the shot put. She's the school record holder in the pentathlon. And if we went into the other events, she's 3rd in the discus, 3rd in the hurdles, and 3rd in the 200 meters all time. For those of you that don't know track and field, if you were to imagine on a basketball team, if one player led the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, that is the equivalent of what Phoebe has done in her short but illustrious career at Eastchester Track and Field. And so with great honor, we'd like to present Phoebe with a plaque commemorating her school record and recognize her as one of the greatest female athletes in the history of Eastchester High School. Thank you.
We got to get in front of the podium. Oh, sure. Too many mics over. There's a lot of technology. I'll let you guys. As long as Phoebe's in the middle.
Incidentally, Coach Mortensen was a pentathlete and decathlete, so he knows what he's talking about.
And he was also Tom Brady's backup. That was pretty cool as well. So, Elias, you stole my thunder a little bit. I just wanted to take a second to recognize, we talk a lot about community here, and I've been the athletic director now for a little bit over a year, And last night, the sports club held their 57th annual sports award dinner, where we honored over 85 athletes, and the club was able to hand out over 35 scholarships totaling $24,000. So I just wanted to thank Mario and the sports club. Elias recognized our Athlete of the Year and our Spirit of the Eagle, which are our two highest honor awards that we give out. So thank you for doing that, Elias. And also just want to talk a little bit just quickly about some things that we do with the sports club, because a lot of it is behind the scenes. But just, again, talking about community, the sports club working with the 5K Foundation this year to raise upwards of $25,000 to put the new trophy cases in the long overdue renovation of the gym lobby. So thank you to Mr. Mario Delaire. I know Trustee McClusty is the liaison to the sports club. So it was a great night last night in honoring all our athletes, well attended, and I was so impressed by how the kids just sat there all night and listened to all the adults speak, which could be hard. We were there for 3 hours. So congratulations to all our student athletes and our coaches. It was a wonderful evening. So thank you, guys.
All right, I think we're all feeling very inadequate at the moment, but that was wonderful. Congratulations, Phoebe. Now we get to transition. We celebrated academics, we've celebrated athletics, and last night there was a celebration of performing arts. And yesterday evening was the Metro Awards, which honor the performing arts throughout the region. And we were very fortunate to have a student within our high school honored in one of those awards, as well as one of the productions. So it is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Joe Blute to recognize one of our outstanding student performers.
Thank you, Dr. Meyer. Thank you, Eastchester Board. Thank you, community members. And thank you, Dr. Villanueva. Yes, last night was a very, very special event. As everybody knows, we have an incredibly prolific performing arts program here in Eastchester. Our Eastchester High School Players Club is award-winning now for 3 consecutive years in both our fall comedy plays and our spring musicals. Our fall comedy, once again, was recognized with 10 awards at an award ceremony in May, receiving 7 of the highest recognitions that we can receive. And last night, in an even grander competition at the Metro Awards, we had 76 schools competing around the tri-state area, and we were lucky enough to have a winner for our 3rd straight year. Before I bring up our student, I do just want to say our director of the spring musical, Jeremy Mesmer, could not be here tonight. But what Jeremy did this spring is something that very few directors are capable of doing. That's also a reflection of our talent pool and our student body at large and all our performers. We did the musical Groundhog Day based on the famous movie with Bill Murray, and it was a feat like no other. So much so that I don't think we fully ran the show until the Monday of show week. That was how much went into it, and we were all holding our breath saying, oh my God, what is going to happen with it? We might not make it. But because of the incredibly talented students that we have, they pulled it together and they did something that truly no other high schools would even think about considering doing, given what the demand of a show like that is. We were fortunate enough to get recognized last night at the Metros, and specifically this individual, Luke, come on up here, a student, Luke Ambrogio. So a little bit about Luke. Luke actually also is an athlete. He has wrestled. He was also on the varsity football team this year. He never did a fall comedy where I was directing, but I would see him in the spring musicals and I would say, wow, he's so talented. Luke, would you be able to do a fall comedy? But because he's so talented and he also was a super athlete, he would tell me, Joe, I'm too busy. And I would get very, very upset, so I really never got to work with Luke until a little bit this spring. I was able to direct you in the opening scene, which took about, 3 hours, because that's just how incredible you were and how much you brought to the table. And he'll speak a little bit more about his role. But with what Luke did as the lead in this musical, he had so much to learn. Yes, there are leads that do a lot and whatnot. This one, did you ever get off the stage? No. He never got off the stage, and the talent that Luke possesses, not only as an individual, but as an actor, he truly has a huge future if he wants to pursue this. And last night, when he won, when his name was announced, it was just one of the most surreal feelings ever as an educator, as director, and it could just not be more well-deserved. So, Luke, if you want to just say a few things about your incredible Metro win, and take it away, sir.
Thank you, Joe, for the endorsement. Before I speak about Metros, I would like to second what Mr. Bluth said before about our team, our director, Jeremy Mesmer. Also, this guy right here also played a huge role in the spring musical, running things when our director couldn't. They both put an unimaginable amount of care and passion into creating this production that, although was really the work of the students, could not have been done without the work of these two gentlemen and countless others. So I want to give them a huge thanks before I say anything else. Could I please get a round of applause for our team? Okay, so a little bit about the Metros. Like you said, in the Trice area, 76 schools. The judges come to watch all of our shows individually and then rank us in categories of various kinds. I was nominated and received an award for Outstanding Comedic Performance in a Male identifying role. I want to say, though, a little bit more about the program, because the program that got me here, Eastchester Players Club, is a great club. It treated me and countless others very well. All the alumni that were produced from the program come back consistently, and there's really nothing else to say besides the fact that we've fostered a very, very strong arts community here that is definitely worth the support that it gets. So thank you to everybody on the board for giving them the space to operate, and thank you to everyone here today for coming to show up and say your piece. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke, and congratulations. Our last students are some of our youngest, and you may remember these three students a few months ago, their passion, their intensity. They went upstate, they brought it back, third place at the state mathematics tournament, and we are so proud of them. And this evening, we have their principal, Ms. Sinisi, here to introduce these three students. Ms. Sinisi.
Good evening, everyone, and what an act to follow. You know, before I begin and I bring up our three students, I just want to point out that when we look at these exceptional high school students, they are incredible, and the programming that we have here at Eastchester just fosters the talents of these students, and it's really incredible to see what goes into and how they become these incredible high school athletes and students and performers. But I'm so proud because the foundation starts in elementary school. So these three students I'm going to bring up tonight, these are the foundation of what will be coming forward into the high school. So thank you to everyone who supports all of these programs, whether they be academics, athletics, or the performing arts. We can see that our students flourish in every single area. So last month we had the pleasure of recognizing three Greenvale students for qualifying for the New York State First in Math tournament finals. So Many thousands of students compete across New York State, and the top 240 are invited forward to Albany to compete in the state tournament. And these three students were one of those, three of those 240. So tonight we're excited to share an update on their outstanding achievements. So could Yuto, Francis, and Jin please come up? So this past Saturday, Yuto Fukaya, Francis Musso, and Jin Narragan competed against top young mathematicians from across New York State. After advancing to the semifinal round, they earned a place in the finals and went on to finish third in New York State across all third grade students. We are so incredibly proud of their hard work, perseverance, teamwork, and mathematical talent. We would also like to extend our sincere thanks to their teachers, Mrs. Cindy Talameo and Mrs. Laura Ingram, as well as our math coach, Miss Mira Rajani, for their support, encouragement, and preparation of the students throughout their first in math journey. They put in countless hours in school and after school practicing for this tournament, and they really brought it home. So I'm going to have speak a little bit about what they did and talk about their tournament win.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, administrators, teachers, families, and friends. We are honored to be here tonight as representatives of Greenville Elementary School and to be recognized for earning third place at the First in Math State Tournament. We are so grateful for the opportunity to travel to Albany and compete against many talented math students from across New York State. This experience taught us that winning isn't everything. What matters most is trying your best, learning from every challenge, and being proud of what you accomplished together.
We would like to say a very big thank you to our parents for always supporting and encouraging us. We are also incredibly thankful for Miss Sinisi, Miss Rajani, Miss Rajani, Miss Ingram, and Miss Talmel for believing in us and helping us prepare for this amazing opportunity. Their encouragement gave us confidence, and their support helped us grow, not only as mathematicians, but also as teammates and friends.
Throughout this tournament, we learned that teamwork is one of the most important parts of success. We discovered that focus and hard work are essential in order to build a great team and accomplish our goals. Most importantly, we learned that we could depend on one another to trust each other, encourage each other, and work together no matter what challenges came our way. We will always remember this experience, and we hope to continue carrying these lessons with us as we grow. Thank you again for celebrating this special achievement with us.
Okay, guys. We have one more thing to say. We told you we wouldn't come home empty-handed. Third place is pretty awesome, but watch out next year. We're aiming for first place. So to all future competition, you might want to start practicing now.
All right, congratulations. They are not messing around. So our final guest, and we are so appreciative to have her here this evening. This is how all our meetings are, so we want you to know none of this was out of the ordinary. These are exceptional students and faculty and staff, and it's really a great evening to be a part of. To introduce our special guest, though, we are going to switch over to the superintendent, who is virtual, who will be saying a few words, and then Senator Mayer, if you'd like to come forward, you could.
Test check, Dr. Villanueva. Test check.
Can you hear me okay, Mr. Jacobowitz?
We can, yep.
Great. Dr. Meyer, thank you very much, and thank you to our Board of Education trustees for accommodating my virtual presence this evening, and hello to everyone in the audience. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce our next speaker, and to someone who we would like to show our gratitude towards this evening, our very honorable State Senator Shelley Mayer. Senator Mayer, as you come up to the podium and Dr. Meyer gets ready to receive you, tonight's presentations from our students are perhaps the very reason why this year's budget process was so very passionate, and also I'll even say emotional this year, because I think all of the things that we focus on are to provide the opportunities for our students to excel. And you can see that we have such exceptional students. And so everything that they deserve is what we want to try to provide. And so we would like to just thank you for being there with the emergency state grant money that we anticipate we'll be receiving. And we look forward to continuing our great programming here in Eastchester with the support of you. And your support has been a long time coming all throughout this year. So thank you. And Dr. Meyer has a couple of questions that he might present to you this evening that we would love to hear a little bit more on from your perspective.
Yes, please, please.
First place, thank you to the board. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Dr. Villanueva. Thank you for the first day of school, getting to come to Eastchester on the first day of school. I do want to correct one thing that I think Dr. Meyer mentioned. It was an initiative to have a student member. It was actually a law that I sponsored that required every school board in the state to have one student non-voting member. And it was so thrilling to hear your report and to see you here today to show that the idea of having students participate in the board, both to speak and to listen, are very valuable skills. And so impressed by you and all the students who got awards tonight. It really is an exceptional tribute to the Eastchester schools to hear what you've done in academics, athletics, performing arts, and the leadership of Dr. Villanueva and this board. So I just want to thank you and congratulate you. It was my honor to hear these fantastic students speak and be honored. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Also had to make that one correction.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Gently. So you had questions.
So first of all, thank you, and we are really grateful to have you here today. We know this has been quite a journey, and you've been an invaluable ally throughout. I know that there were two questions that we were hoping maybe you could shed light on and just speak to in terms of the support. The first of which is some of that support takes multiple forms. If you could speak a little bit about the forms of the aid from the state. And then the second, and which we're so grateful for, is your work around foundation aid, and talk a little bit about that work as well. We'd be so appreciative.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak about it. So what happened is a number of parents, when the board vote was defeated, a number of parents emailed me, and that is the most effective way for getting someone like myself to respond. Yes, I had a relationship with Dr. Villanueva, started when she first started this year in the first day, and she was there with me, and I had a lot of respect for her leadership. In fact, we worked on school, the free breakfast and lunch program right from the beginning. But as a chair of the education committee, when I get emails from parents saying that the changes that were proposed would really be very detrimental to them and their experience, that I am here about the kids. That's why I was so happy to hear this today, not just about the adults, because that's what it's really about. So many parents did email me that they were concerned about the decisions that would be required to be made because of the budget going down. And I went to the leader of the Senate, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, who like me is from Yonkers, where we have a lot of Eastchester teachers in our world, and we're very familiar with how great the Eastchester district is. And I went and said, I have a district that is in great need, and if we could find some operating assistance, I think they can find a way to mitigate the damages of the budget being defeated. I hope things go well tonight, keeping my fingers crossed for that. But I wanted to see if we could help. So Dr. Villanueva and I spoke about whether if I could find $500,000 in operating assistance, which is different than capital money, which I will explain, that would be helpful. And she indicated it would be extremely helpful in trying to mitigate some of the transportation decisions that were the particular reason why I think most of the parents wrote to me. So I would just be honest about this. I was able to get money last year for the Rye City School District. These are difficult because I also represent Yonkers, Portchester, New Rochelle, White Plains, districts that are laying off teachers and staff and facing challenges throughout. But Andrea Stewart Cousins, and I want people to understand this, understood that this was very important to me as the chair of the committee and as someone who represents Eastchester, and I asked her to find $500,000. We were at the end of the budget process, and it was a very arduous budget process. This year was not fun, shall we say. So she was able to find, and she said, yes, I'm going to do my best to find $500,000. And then she said, if we also could add $500,000 of capital, which I will explain the difference, which is easier to come by, would that be helpful? And I asked Dr. Villanueva, would that be helpful? And she said, absolutely it would. And at the same time, my colleague, Assemblywoman Amy Paulin, went to her leader, Carl Hasty, and sought additional money, and she was able to get her $1 million all in capital. I was able to get $500,000 in operating, $500,000 in capital. Amy got, and you're going to acknowledge her when she's able to come, $1 million in capital. Operating aid is a short-term real fix for your budget in the sense that, and I checked today, the money will come in the fall. The money does not require years of preparation. When we were able to get money for Rye, and I've actually, many years ago, I got money for Eastchester my first year in the Senate in 2018. I don't know if any people still remember from that time. It was also a challenge here. So the operating money comes sooner. The capital money is has to be identified by capital projects. Those are projects that really require a permanence, a sense of permanence, just like a capital investment in your home versus an operating investment. So there's a list of things. They basically have to be fixed. It does include vehicles, for example, buying certain kinds of trucks or other kinds of vehicles that you may need. Certain kinds of activities preceding a capital investment. So sometimes some of the planning costs can be incorporated in capital. And I know Assemblywoman Paulin already checked out a number of the projects. This has to go through both the Finance Department of the Senate and Assembly and then through the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, DASNY, which issues bonds that provide the funding for capital. So it is a more arduous process, both for the district, for us, and for the timing. We are going to try to expedite it as quickly as possible, but together with Amy's help, we're going to have $1.5 million in capital, $500,000 in operating, which, you know, my understanding will lead to a modification of the original proposal about transportation and some other reductions in proposed layoffs. And to me, you know, seeing the success of this district tonight, as I've known, you know, that is what I really cared about. So I wanted to make that point about the difference between operating capital and also give credit, and people don't understand, and I'm not talking about politics. This is how the process works. We are here to represent you regardless of party, regardless of ideology. Our job is to fight for the districts that we represent. I would just say, you know, just for example, Yonkers had a $100 million shortfall in its school district budget this year. We are facing very challenging times for school districts throughout the state, and I feel it's my obligation to do the best I can to get every district more money. So I'll segue into the foundation aid. So Foundation aid is the law that was established in 2007 that is intended to replace the old political system by which schools were funded, which was sort of, if you had a legislator who had power, you got more money. If you had a legislator who didn't have power, you got less money. It was intended to move to a need-based methodology of how much districts needed. It has about 12, 14 factors, one of which is property values. So all the schools in Westchester are hindered, so to speak, because our property values are high, and the assumption is when there's higher property values, you can get higher property taxes, and that the state is not going to pick up the entire cost of operating and providing a sound basic education to every child. There are many other calculations that go into foundation aid. Last year, 2 years ago, we have been proposing many changes over the years that I've been involved. 2 years ago, we were able to get the governor to agree to fund a study by the Rockefeller Institute about the shortcomings of the foundation aid formula. And instead of making recommendations, they sort of gave a menu of things that should be changed. Now, one other thing that happened between 2019 and now is that many schools were owed foundation aid, and it had not been paid out since 2007 till 2018. And we were able to get all the money that was owed paid out over a 3-year period. So that was the first part. And then during COVID, as you recall, there was a substantial amount of federal money that every school district got. It was supposed to be used for non-recurring expenses, but many districts used it for recurring expenses because they needed to. But that money is not here anymore, and districts are running into problems. And that has it happened in many places. But the foundation aid formula, as a result of the study and work, we made a compromise, not as much as I would have liked. Last year, we increased what's called the regional cost index for Westchester. Westchester had been lumped with upstate. We brought Westchester closer to Nassau, Suffolk, and New York City, which was a good thing. It benefited most schools that were owed foundation aid. And we also this year made 2 other changes. We increased the weighting for English language learners, and we increased the weighting for students who are homeless or foster care. I wanted additional weighting for special needs students. Eastchester, like many districts, spends a lot of money on providing excellent education for students with an IEP. We're not able to get that. But the governor started the proposal with 1% above what you got last year in foundation aid. We asked for 2%. We held out for a long time. That's one of the reasons the budget was so late. And we were able to get 2%. So even though Eastchester was not owed additional foundation aid, it got what it got last year plus an additional 2% of foundation aid. These are hard-fought battles. They don't, they're sort of technical and in the weeds, but this is what we fight about because we care about what happens tonight, the kinds of students that you showed, the kind of athletics that you showed. This is a beautiful, beautiful school district with much to be proud of, and I'm glad that we could be helpful both on the foundation aid, although it's not enough, and on the direct grant of operating and capital, which I would say respectfully is a significant lift in a state that a lot of districts need, but it was my honor to fight for it, and I'm very, very thankful to the leadership of the Senate. And this came from the Senate and Assembly's money, made the allocation of money. So I hope that answer, it didn't mean to be so long-winded, but it's technical. Any other questions?
That was great. Dr. Villanueva, is there anything additional you would like to ask or say?
I just wanted to say thank you again on behalf of our school district, and we are feverishly working to get all the details over to both your office and to the Assemblywoman's office so that we can move forward as quickly as possible. But I also want to give a big thank you to our parent community who very much right away started to advocate for us. And for our Board of Education, who has been working since the very beginning with me on holding on to our investments and creating strong ways to move forward for our school district. So everybody involved, it really has been a very collaborative process. So thank you. And we're so happy you were able to make it tonight, Senator.
Thank you.
And we also have a little gift as well. Yeah, round of applause, absolutely. Okay, this will happen after the meeting ends. No one saw it, but we do want to say thank you from the whole community for your support. Fair
And
enough.
Senator Mayor, just before you depart, on behalf of myself and the entire Eastchester Board of Education, we want to sincerely thank you for all of your efforts, not just recently, but over the course of time. And I can say personally, in my service here on this board, I have met with Senator Mayer multiple times on multiple occasions when things have been great, when things have been somewhat mediocre, and when we've needed some help. So I want to thank you sincerely with everything you have going on. You have always been accessible to this Board of Education, as well as all of the other school districts. So thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. And also sincere gratitude to Amy Paulin. And last but certainly not least, Supervisor Colavita, who has a solid and significant partnership with us here in the school district and who continues to work and advocate for us every single day. So again, thank you very much for all of your help and dedication. We appreciate it. Any questions, comments from any of my fellow trustees this evening? Okay. Just before we move into the consent agenda, our district clerk is down in the middle school running our election this evening. So do I have a motion to appoint Dr. Jacqueline DeMarco as our district clerk pro tem this evening? Christine, do I have a second? Sean, all in favor? Let the record indicate that Dr. Jacqueline DeMarco will be our district clerk this evening. We are now up to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve items under the consent agenda tonight? Someone? Rob?
To find it.
Okay.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda, which includes the following: 7, approval of minutes; 8, personnel agenda; 10, Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendations; 10, Education and Curriculum and Instruction; 11, Business Office recommendations; and 12, Other Business.
Thank you, Rob. Do I have a second? Lori, all in favor? Thank you, everyone. Our future meeting dates, our next Board of Education meeting will be July 14th, which will be our reorganization meeting where we'll be appointing new officers for the next term. We're now up to comments from the public. When you come up, please state your name and address, and each person will have 3 minutes for this portion of the meeting.
Hello, I'm Lynn Hewitt from 32 Lawrence Avenue, and I just wanted to quickly tie back to our valedictorian, Sarah Mortensen, and what she said about all the teachers and programs that brought her up and how she got to where she was. And we get to hear from the high schoolers all the time because they can speak for themselves. But our elementary teachers aren't recognized quite as often for all they're doing and what they're providing to our students to start, because I know my 6-year-old is in bed for an hour now, so she's not here to speak for what she's getting. So I'm just asking, as you look at the budget, based on what happens tonight, remember those programs, remember those teachers, and teachers, remember what you're doing. You're seen even if your students aren't able to speak for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment this evening? Okay. Do I have a motion to recess the meeting until the budget certification, which will happen sometime after 9 o'clock? Sean, do I have a second? Christine, all in favor? Thank you, everyone.
Chocolates. Steak. Maybe.